Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into, well, a collection of free online resources. They're focused on what these sources are calling the art of seduction.
Mm.
Think of it as a peek behind the curtain, various strategies, tactics. This stuff's compiled by Exceed International from places like transboy.co.uk, seduction.com, Fast Seduction. You know the type.
Right, so suave.com is in there too.
Exactly. You shared this pretty intriguing material with us, and our mission really is just to pull out the most interesting bits for you, the most applicable insights.
Yeah, and it's important to say up front, like right from the start,
Mm-hmm.
the compilation itself notes this,
Okay.
that some of the ideas might be considered, sensitive or offensive even.
Right.
Our goal isn't to endorse anything here, it's just to explore these concepts as they're laid out in the sources, give you an analytical overview.
Got it. Okay, let's unpack one of the first things that caught my eye. It's called the 3-second rule. And no, it's not about dropping food on the floor. It's about approaching someone you're interested in, like within 3 seconds of seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thinking behind this quick move as you see it in the material?
Well, what's fascinating, or what the sources seem to think is fascinating,
Yeah.
is that acting fast, it just looks spontaneous.
Okay.
You avoid kind of looking like you've been watching them for ages, dodging the stalker alarm, as they put it.
Huh, right.
But maybe more importantly for you, it stops you getting nervous.
Ah.
It stops that lack of confidence showing up before you even say hi. It's sort of like cognitive fluency.
Mm.
Acting quick feels natural, less calculated.
Yeah, less time for the doubts to creep in.
Exactly. It cuts off that internal critic.
Right, so seize the moment before you overthink it. And they clarify, don't they? The 3 seconds start once you've seen them and you're actually free to approach.
That's right. Yeah. You can't just, abandon a conversation mid-sentence.
No diving across the room.
Exactly. It's about using that initial impulse before hesitation kicks in. And this immediate confidence, this spontaneity, it's presented as a big advantage. So that's a good tone.
Okay. Then there's this other core idea that pops up again and again. Cultivating an alpha male attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Though later they suggest maybe dominant male is a better term. What's the main takeaway there for you?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, it's really about projecting this inherent self-assurance, like an inner belief that people genuinely want to be around you.
Hmm.
It's about not being too worried about what others think,
Yeah.
taking the lead, almost assuming you'll be the person people gravitate towards.
Okay.
It's interesting how they frame it as an internal shift,
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if projecting confidence really starts inside, not just faking it outwards.
Yeah, less like roaring, more like a quiet conviction. They even say it's an inward change in how you see yourself, like accepting this confidence is your natural right. It's
Yeah.
pretty assertive.
It is, and it
Yeah.
brings up this point about how it can be self-reinforcing. Well, the more you believe you're valuable and people will like your company,
Yeah.
the more that becomes true, in a way. It's like a feedback loop.
Ah, I see.
And this difference between dominant and alpha, it's interesting for you to think about. It suggests dominance isn't like zero-sum. Multiple dominant people can exist.
Unlike the one traditional alpha.
Right. And when they apply this to interactions with women, the sources talk about projecting sexual power, leading to what they call a woman's surrender.
Okay, moving on. The compilation lists a whole bunch of desirable traits. Some seem pretty obvious, like confidence, humor, smiling, being well-groomed.
Yeah, the basics.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the mix. You've got those fundamental social skills, but also these more refined behavioral tactics.
Like what?
Well, beyond the obvious, they talk about physically mirroring someone.
Adopting their posture.
Yeah, similar posture movements. They also mention noticing their trance words.
Trans words.
Basically words someone uses a lot, or words that seem to have a strong emotional link for them, like
Yeah.
their personal hot buttons in language.
And using those words back.
Exactly. And, rephrasing what they say to show you're listening, creating anchors for good feelings.
Anchoring. Linking a feeling to a touch or a word.
Precisely. The idea is you consistently pair a touch with, say, joy or laughter.
Okay.
Then later, you can supposedly bring back those feelings just with the same touch, like Pavlov's dogs, basically, association.
Okay.
They say you can use tone of voice, too, or specific phrases. But they warn you not to overdo it. It loses impact.
Right. What else is on that desirable traits list?
Well, being understanding, not arguing. Using presuppositions.
That's when you talk like something's already agreed on.
Yeah, like when we get coffee,
Yeah.
instead of do you want to get coffee?
Yeah.
Maintaining good eye contact and touch, they call it keynote.
And keynote, right.
And Interestingly, the advice stresses moving beyond just, chit-chatting about clubs and work school towards questions that might actually spark romantic interest or even arousal, they say.
So getting deeper than surface level stuff?
Exactly. It highlights progressing beyond pleasantries to forge a more meaningful, maybe even charged connection. Talking about feelings, not just facts, is key for building that rapport.
Confidence just keeps coming up, doesn't it?
It really does.
One technique they suggest for building it is pretty direct, like approach someone and ask, "Hi, are you the sort of person I should get to know better?"
Yeah.
And if they say yes, you follow up with why, puts the focus on what they offer you.
It's powerful, that directness. And the self-worth it implies. It flips the script, like you're the one evaluating them. Even the other suggestion, mentioning their shoe, looks untied,
Right.
then walking away. It's presented as a way to just get comfortable approaching without the pressure of a full conversation right away.
So the overall message is just take action. Don't hesitate.
Yeah, and build comfort through practice.
Yeah.
They suggest talking to women everywhere about anything until it's not intimidating anymore.
And eventually, connection happens naturally, without overthinking.
That's the idea. Proficiency through repetition.
Yeah.
Normalizing it reduces the anxiety, which leads to more authentic connections for you.
Okay, so when you do start a conversation, after the 3-second thing, what then?
Use open-ended questions,
Yeah.
often starting with what.
Right.
And instead of just agreeing, they suggest paraphrasing their thoughts, maybe presenting them as your own original opinion.
Why do that?
Well, paraphrasing shows you're really listening right, makes them feel heard. And presenting their ideas as yours subtly positions you as similar, fosters connection.
Okay, let's get into this fluff talk concept. It's important for starting out, leading to deeper stuff, or these patterns we'll talk about. But there are definitely some things they say to avoid during fluff talk.
Yeah, what's crucial about fluff talk, according to them, is directing it towards feelings, not just swapping facts.
Because facts are boring?
Well, they argue it doesn't build an emotional bond for you, so they give examples of how to pivot. Someone says they went skating.
Instead, oh, nice.
You ask, you like skating? What do you enjoy most about it? Get to the feeling. They even suggest hypotheticals to get more revealing answers.
Right. Or asking, so what's your story? Just open-ended.
Exactly. Let them talk.
Yeah.
And mirroring what they reveal about themselves with something similar about you builds rapport.
Even asking about, like, a weird necklace or something. The story behind it.
Yeah, anything unique can be a conversation starter for you.
And the don'ts. What should you absolutely avoid?
Oh, it's pretty clear. Personal problems, family, work, money, acting desperate, negativity, getting drunk.
Analyzing her problems.
Definitely not. Or complaining about exes.
Sounds like solid social advice generally, really.
Absolutely. Keep it positive, engaging, make a good first impression, keep it enjoyable for both of you.
Okay, so you're talking, how do you tell if they're actually interested?
Yeah.
The compilation has this huge list of common signs of interest.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really detailed, like breaking down nonverbal cues.
Eye signals, hair stuff, physical actions.
Right. For eyes, they mention things like exaggerated eyebrow raises, winking, more blinking, fluttering lashes, hair, stroking it, twirling it, throwing it back off the shoulders,
Physical actions.
fondling objects like a glass or necklace, playing with jewelry, especially stroking or pulling it, touching your arm, shoulder, hand,
Wow. Specific.
even pretending to look at their watch just as you walk past.
That's a sign. Seems counterintuitive.
Well, that's what they list as a possibility for you to notice. It's like they're trying to decode this whole secret language of flirtation.
What about voice? Laughter.
Matching your volume and speed of speaking is one. And laughing in unison, of course.
Makes sense.
They also mention mirroring body language, skin getting a bit red, blowing smoke towards you, appearing near you a lot at a party.
There's like a quick summary list too, right?
Yeah, a concise one. Narrows eyes slightly, smiles, matches posture, eyes sparkle, licks lips, pushes breasts forward subtly.
And then signs of disinterest are basically the opposite.
Pretty much. No peeking, fleeting eye contact, looking away levelly, rigid posture, no preening, body turned away, head vertical, neutral face, dull eyes, mouth closed, sagging posture. Stuff like that for you to watch for.
So overall indicators.
Basically, body direction towards you is good. Posture erect and alert is good. Head tilt increasing is good. Drink held high like a barrier is bad. Hands clenched or squeezing is bad. Open or caressing is good. Open posture generally means more receptive to your approach.
They even break down signals during the first conversation.
Right. Alert, energetic, dilated pupils, gradually opening posture, those signal trust and comfort building towards you, versus tense, restless, closed posture, which suggests they're less comfortable.
It really drives home how much attention they suggest you pay to nonverbals.
Definitely. The idea is that shifts from closed to open posture during your interaction show growing comfort and trust in you.
And that ties right into mirroring, doesn't it? Physical mirroring.
Exactly. Adopting similar posture movements.
And they say people don't notice it consciously.
Apparently not. But subconsciously, they feel more comfortable, more connected to you if you mirror them. It's like that natural rapport you see when people are really clicking.
They talk about following and then leading too, like a silent dance.
Precisely. You mirror her, then maybe you shift slightly and see if she follows subtly.
But don't try to mirror blinking or breathing.
No, they advise against that. Too much effort, looks weird,
Yeah.
maybe unsettling. Stick to the more natural physical cues.
Okay, let's talk kino. Kinesthetics, touch.
Right. The advice ranges quite a bit here.
How so?
Well, they suggest you use light touch early on, arm, hand, just to subtly signal you're a sexual being.
Okay. What about for women you already know?
Hugs over handshakes. Even brief arm around the waist or shoulder hugs, enthusiastic greetings hugs, holding hands to set a warm, friendly mood from the start.
And then there was that, foot flirting.
Yeah, subtle foot contact under the table. Presented as playful, maybe escalating kino for you to try. Could lead to more intimate touch later, they suggest.
It's all about gradually introducing touch to build comfort then?
That's the idea.
Mm.
But obviously, you have to be mindful of boundaries, make sure it's welcome, appropriate. That's crucial for you.
Humor also gets a strong mention. Good tool for initiating contact, making a good impression.
Absolutely. Making someone laugh builds rapport fast, creates a positive association with you, breaks the ice, makes you seem approachable, engaging.
Then there's verbally pacing the ongoing situation. What is that exactly?
It's about you describing the shared reality, what's happening right now, in a pleasant way. Builds rapport.
Like the example of meeting someone jogging.
Yeah, you'd acknowledge their activity, the unexpectedness of you talking to them, maybe lightheartedly, grounds the interaction in the moment, creates a shared understanding between you.
Okay. On the flip side, what not to do. No pickup lines. Pretty firm on that.
Very. The reason is they just sound insincere. Can make someone feel cheap, like just another target for you.
Honest, straightforward communication is better.
Yeah, the emphasis is on authenticity, respect. Pickup lines often feel generic, like you have no real interest in her as a person.
There's also that slightly odd tactic, delaying giving your name.
Yeah. The idea is you ask for her name first, compliment it, start talking.
And only give yours if she asks later.
Right. Because her asking is seen as a sign of interest from her. If she doesn't ask, the advice is, well, move on.
Plays on curiosity, shifts the focus.
Exactly. Her asking means she's invested enough to want to know more about you.
Another big don't. Avoid looking at breasts. Even a quick glance is apparently disastrous for your chances.
Seems straightforward, yeah. Maintain respectful eye contact, builds trust, shows genuine interest in her as a person, not just,
Well,
you know,
right. And maintaining interest beyond that first chat is key.
crucial for you.
Hmm.
Moving past small talk to real conversation, understanding the flow.
Avoiding talking only about yourself or bringing up weird topics too early.
Big pitfalls, yeah. They give examples of icebreakers, funny, unexpected lines sometimes, but mostly emphasize active listening, asking follow-up questions that go deeper, show genuine curiosity about her feelings, her experiences.
To keep the conversation flowing, build a real connection.
That's the core of it for you. Sustained engagement, showing you're genuinely interested in who she is.
Okay, let's look at some specific approaches they outline. Some have pretty fun names, like the thank you approach. Just walk up and say, "Excuse me, I just wanted to say thank you."
Right. The idea is it's unexpected, piques her curiosity, why are you thanking her, opens the door.
And the example story is about seeing someone with a warm smile.
Yeah, suggesting you adopt that positive, appreciative vibe.
Then the how was your day approach, matching her mood.
Exactly. She had a great day, you share that energy. Awful day, empathize. Boring day, playfully try to inject some excitement.
Shows you're adaptable, tuned into her emotionally.
Right. Meet her where she is, then gently guide the interaction.
There are also these hypothetical scenarios for introduction, ending with, somewhat I should get to know better.
Yeah, those kinds of lines. And then more direct or even theatrical ones for you. The horoscope approach, the chair approach.
The chair approach.
Ask if a chore is free, they assume for another table, then you sit down like, phew, and introduce yourself.
Okay. And the familiar approach, acting like you already know her.
Yeah, starting mid-conversation, skipping openings, just being friendly, confident, funny, assuming that prior connection creates ease.
How about the stunning approach? Direct compliment. Excuse me, I think you're absolutely stunning. Wanted to meet you.
That one's direct but low-key, can be powerful, they say, but also risky. Might seem like just flattery.
Depends on delivery and the person.
Seems like it. They suggest it might work better on, say, 7s and 8s rather than women who hear it constantly.
Yeah.
But it's a double-edged sword for you.
Even a corny line approach gets mentioned. Sometimes over the top works.
Maybe. Plays on breaking the pattern, being memorable, even if it's intentionally cheesy. Injecting humor.
We mentioned pacing the ongoing reality earlier. The detailed example talks about starting normally, then describing the situation honestly to create a nice vibe.
Yeah, helps ground it, make it feel less like a strategy. Acknowledging the strangeness of a stranger approaching can disarm defenses, create shared understanding right there in the moment between you two.
The I like approach. You state things you like, prompter, move towards feelings.
Gentle way to start dialogue. Find common ground. The key is playful transitions, inviting her to share, opening doors to deeper connections for you.
Now, palm reading, combining patterns and kino.
That's the idea. You get hold of her hand, make suggestive comments, hold eye contact, maybe kiss her hand.
Sounds bold.
It blends touch, suggestive language, mystery. Even if you know nothing about palmistry, taking her hand, making intriguing comments can create intimacy.
They suggest using value elicitation first, like asking how her friends describe her.
Yeah, as a lead-in. Let's see if that's true in your poem. Gives you something to work with.
And they give some basics, heart, head, lifelines.
Very basic stuff for you. Feelings, thinking, vitality. Line quality meaning well-being or stress. Some details on heart and lifelines, the fate line.
Not about becoming an expert overnight.
No, just adds credibility to the routine you might try. It's a framework for intrigue, connection, not a real fortune reading.
Okay, dancing. Tricky. They advise against just asking directly.
Yeah, suggest alternatives. Position yourself nearby. Pull girls playfully from the edge. Act like you already know her. Well, come on!
Create the opportunity without the pressure of a direct yes-no.
Exactly. Less chance of outright refusal. Playful assertiveness can be more effective in getting her on the floor with you. And if she says she's tired...
Good chance to transition to talking somewhere quieter.
Right. Demonstrating value beyond just asking for a dance.
What about dealing with reluctance? Or her friends being obstacles?
Yeah, they talk about strategically navigating that. Separating her from friends to get one-on-one time. Overcoming inhibitions about being watched.
The wingman tactic.
Yeah, suggesting another pair needs space. Implying to your target her friend's about to get private time while the friend thinks the same about you too. Clever, if a bit manipulative.
Or even talking to the less attractive friend to make the target jealous.
That's another maneuver they suggest you could try. Sparks effort from her, potentially.
Okay, now this next bit is direct. Negates. Negative hits.
Controversial.
The stated purpose is to disrupt a perceived bitch act from very attractive women used to constant attention.
That's the idea they present. Subtly target insecurities. Humorously, charmingly. Appear pleasant, but not overly impressed by her beauty.
It's a qualifier, not an insult, suggesting she's not meeting your high standards. This sounds potentially really bad. Do they address the ethics?
They don't really frame it ethically, more strategically, but they stress it's primarily for, say, 9s and 10s.
Yeah.
And strongly warn you not to use it on 7s or 8s. Could damage their confidence. The goal for you is just to create curiosity by being different.
How does it work? Playful comments on fake nails, hair pieces.
Things like that. But the delivery is key. Always presented as a compliment, charming, friendly, positive, sincere. A few well-timed negates early on can supposedly dismantle the shield, create mutual respect.
Mutual respect through negging. Seems odd.
That's their view. They even mention maybe using one before a kiss attempt. Create self-consciousness, then relieve it.
But be sensitive to mood. Don't do it if she seems down.
Absolutely crucial advice they give you. Avoid it completely if she seems genuinely upset. Cheer her up instead.
This sounds incredibly tricky, like it could easily backfire.
Hugely. The sources admit the risks. Your delivery has to be perceived as playful, not mean. The goal is just to be intriguing, different from the usual fawning guys.
Okay. Moving to something maybe more useful for everyone. Eliciting values.
Yes, finding out what's really important to her in a relationship, key for deeper connection for you.
How do you do that? Strategic questions.
Right. Uncover her core values. They differentiate N's values, the feelings she wants, like love, understanding,
And means value.
how she thinks she gets those feelings. Like a partner who's strong and brave, if she gives you means values, they say you should dig deeper. And what does having a guy like that feel like?
Got it. Get to the underlying feeling.
Exactly. They give example questions for you, like, what do you really value in a relationship? And emphasize shifting beyond surface chat to deeper beliefs.
How do you handle disagreements on beliefs?
Instead of arguing or fake agreeing, they suggest you ask her to convince you. How did you come to that conclusion? What convinced you? Reveals her conviction strategy.
Interesting. They also list other helpful questions. Work challenges, childhood memories.
Yeah, less direct value questions, but still useful for you. The main thing is understanding her answers, noticing when she gets emotional,
Yeah.
even playfully asking what she looks for in a guy.
And then,
Then shut up and listen intently. Crucial advice for you there.
okay, so after you elicit her values, the next step they suggest is tailoring yourself to her values,
Mm-hmm.
learning her values before you reveal much about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
then selectively editing your persona.
Or even fabricating, yeah. Highlighting things that match her positive values, avoiding the negative ones.
The goal is to become the man she wants.
That's how they put it. Highly strategic, maybe manipulative for you to consider. It's about presenting an idealized version based on what you learned she desires. How you really feel is less important, they say. The focus is on you effectively being that person for her.
Okay, let's dive into patterns. Specific language used to induce emotional states. Link good feelings to yourself.
That's the core idea. Evoke positive feelings, states of mind, and subconsciously link them to you. Vagueness is key here, supposedly.
Why vague?
Considered romantic, thrilling, mysterious. Lets her connect the feelings to her own experiences, dreams more easily.
There are stages to learning this. Memorization, then using themes.
Right. Memorize, use themes with pattern language, then use themes with deep personal meaning for you, plus the language. They also mention listener types. Some want to be overwhelmed passively, others interrupt, giving you trance words to use back.
And the overall attitude should be
Fun. Pleasure-inducing for you. Create amazing states so she wants to be with you. Experiment. Learn from mistakes. Be flexible, persistent. Change your approach if needed.
delivery is crucial, more than the words.
Absolutely. You need to feel it with her, embody the pattern, not just recite.
Techniques like anchoring come back here?
Yep. Linking touch, tone, words to positive states she feels. Also, quoting and stacking realities.
Attributing stuff to friends, articles.
Yeah. Makes suggestive content easier for reserved people. Stacking multiple sources, saying it increases believability for her.
Time distortion. Having her imagine the future with someone special.
Hoping she subconsciously starts associating you with that role. Fantasies, too, dreaming together, things she'd enjoy. Builds identification. Links positive feelings to you. Even bullshit fantasies can build rapport, intense emotion. Maybe use touch to enhance the fantasy description.
Binding thought direction. Setting the mood before presenting facts about yourself.
Makes her more receptive. Building a chain of states, moving her gradually from her current emotion to a desired one.
They also talk about creating a new self-image for yourself and reframing patterns as giving something wonderful.
Right, embracing challenge, persistence, and seeing patterns not as taking, but as giving her deep emotional experiences.
Using themes to connect patterns and fitting patterns into different relationship goals.
Yeah, themes like exploring the mind, desire versus fulfillment, and using these techniques whether you're looking for casual, serious, or even marriage. Fluff talk is the natural lead-in for you. Don't just jump into patterns abruptly. Mastery is creating them on the fly.
Okay, specific examples. The trust pattern, about being discreet.
Yeah, a story designed to overcome fear of being dumped after intimacy. And then the rose pattern.
They warn about that one being very dangerous, creating obsession.
Yeah, suggested mainly for girlfriends' wives. It's a guided visualization you lead her through. Favorite flower, linking it to loved ones, dreams, wishes. Then visualizing her handing the rose to you to hold.
Links you to her hopes, dreams, loved ones, arousal and connection.
That's the aim. Powerful stuff, potentially. There are variations, too, focusing on fleeting beauty or the lasting impact of an imagined connection.
Other patterns, passion to passion.
Elicit her passion, then transfer those feelings to passion for, well, you, pointing at yourself. Less effective if she lacks strong passions.
Intuitive connection.
Suggesting deep connection means recognizing you can relax and laugh together. Anchor that feeling.
Longing for connection. Story about needing mental connection first after a breakup.
Right. Describing feeling drawn, butterflies, imagining intimacy, finding your man. Others focus on gradual connection, enchanted feelings, natural realization of compatibility.
Using binds, offering choices that both lead where you want.
Yeah, lunch or coffee, dance now or later.
Yeah.
Also, cause and effect. Dance with me and really feel the music. Resistance breaking patterns using time distortion, humor, and presuppositions again.
Okay, finally, getting the date or the get together.
Right. Reestablish contact, suggest meeting in person for undisturbed talk. Touch.
And avoid seeming like a formal date. Aim for weeknights.
Yeah, more casual vibe. If it has to be a weekend, frame it like it's your only free slot. Midweek implies your busy weekends. Other girls. Higher availability, less pressure, makes your weeknight better.
Asking is suggesting, offering opportunities.
Exactly. We should meet. How about then and there? Direct, if she's reluctant. Use patterns, negging, value elicitation over the phone.
What about following up business contacts?
Direct, emotional approach. You caught my attention. I can't hold back emotions. Let's go out this weekend, see if we like each other. Tailor that for non-business, too.
General phone advice. Practice, have topics, compliment, say she caught your attention. Handle objections assertively.
Pretty much emphasize your emotions, fun personality. Ask about weekend suitability, not just yes, no on a date. Your assertiveness can work.
Then this our world routine. Constructing an imaginary world.
Yeah, where you both feel happy, relaxed, free from rules. Goal is getting her to agree to come to your place next time. Can start it over the phone.
How does it work? Elicit values first. Address objections.
Right. Understand her principles, potential objections, boyfriend labels. Then build a world where those don't apply. Cheating is fine in our world there. Example. Pitch, coming over to experience it. Comfort, security, no pressure for sex.
Script the initial moments. Hug, welcome to our world, pre-entry kiss.
That's what they advise for you, yeah. Plan it out.
And the last bit, be busy. Creating scarcity.
Make her value your time more. Tactics.
Right.
Be pleasant, but excuse yourself. Mention activities, cancel occasionally, don't always return calls instantly, and calls first.
Set expectations, your rules. Eliminate those who don't meet your standards.
Exactly. Creates the impression you're high value, limited time.
Yeah.
Makes your attention more desirable, prompts her to work for it.
Wow. Okay, that was definitely a deep dive into some unconventional stuff.
It certainly was.
So, key takeaways for you listening. The importance of understanding attraction dynamics, building confidence through practice.
Right. The power of emotional connection and communication. Strategic use of language, behavior.
And creating shared experiences, real or imagined through patterns, presented as powerful tools for you.
Yeah, this compilation gives you a lot of perspectives, techniques, tools you can use to navigate social interactions with more awareness, more intention. Understanding these concepts allows for more deliberateness in how you connect.
And many of these ideas, like patterns or value elicitation, you could explore them much deeper.
Absolutely.
We'd encourage you to think about how these ideas resonate with you. Maybe dig into the source material if it interests you.
And finally, maybe consider that interplay between genuine connection and strategic influence. Perhaps the most compelling seduction, in the broadest sense, involves you really understanding and fulfilling underlying desires.
And creating experiences that are genuinely positive, engaging for everyone involved.
Exactly. Something to think about.